Today is Friday, January 24th, and this is the Tip-Off, where we tip you off on today's NBA matchups, how to gamble, how to wager. What's on the slate for today, Gabe?
We've got 11 games tonight, busy night in the NBA. First up, we've got Milwaukee and Charlotte matching up in Paris, France, where Milwaukee is favored by 14 and a half points. I'm taking Milwaukee. The Hornets have lost 7 in a row, while the Bucks have won 7 in a row. And Milwaukee beat Charlotte by 41 in their lone meeting thus far this season back on November 14. Milwaukee.
Parlez-vous français? Yeah. You know, French was the original language of international diplomacy. But the new language of international diplomacy is the NBA. Basketball is the salvation of the world. Charlotte is much more Frenchy than Milwaukee. Charlotte is going to win the hearts and minds of the French people and turn them once again to their fond affection for the United States of America.
Giannis might disagree with you on both
Bonjour,
counts.
bonjour.
All right, next we've got Memphis traveling to Detroit to take on the Pistons, where we've got an even line. I'm taking Memphis. The Grizz have lost a couple games to lower-rung Eastern Conference teams this year, but I expect them to beat the Pistons in this one. Memphis.
No, Detroit is the motor of America, and we depend completely on our automotive industry to keep us moving. I'm going for Detroit.
All right, next we've got Boston traveling to Orlando to take on the Magic, where the Magic are favored by 1.5. I'm taking Boston. Jaylen Brown is questionable for the Celtics, and Jason Tatum and Enes Kanter are both already ruled out. And I'm still taking the Celtics. The Magic are 3-8 against the top 6 teams in the East. Boston.
You know I believe in magic.
All right, next we've got Toronto traveling to New York to take on the Knicks, where the Raptors are 8.5-point favorites. I'm taking Toronto. The Raptors have won 5 in a row, 4 of which were by at least 9 points, while the Knicks are 2-9 over their last 11, with 5 of their last 7 losses being by double digits. Plus, the Raptors beat the Knicks by 28 in their only meeting thus far this season, back on November 27. Toronto here.
Not on a Friday night, not in the Garden, because you know the Knicks are gods in the Garden on the weekends.
All right, next we've got Sacramento traveling to Chicago to take on the Bulls, where the Bulls are favored by 2.5 points. I'm taking Chicago. The Kings have lost 6 in a row, while the Bulls have won 4 of 7. Both teams are dealing with plenty of injuries. I'm taking the home team here. Chicago.
Well, we're trying to resist the monarchy, but I'm going with the Kings anyway, because I believe they will win.
All right. Next, we've got Atlanta traveling to Oklahoma to take on the Thunder, where Oklahoma City is favored by 11.5 points. I'm taking Oklahoma here. Steven Adams is questionable for the Thunder, but Trae Young is questionable for the Hawks. If Young plays, I do like the Hawks to cover here, but with his status up in the air, I've got to go Oklahoma, even though Atlanta has done okay when in games that Young has missed this year. Oklahoma.
The only thing up in the air is going to be the Hawks swooping down for another victory.
All right, next we've got Houston traveling to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves, where the Rockets are favored by 5.5 points. I'm taking Minnesota. The Timberwolves have lost 7 in a row, but Houston has dropped 4 of 5. Rockets are probably the smarter bet, but I'm taking the Timberwolves. Just not sure who's going to be matching up with Karl Anthony Towns. Good luck, Clint Capella.
Yeah, the Rockets' red glare going to be bursting in the air tonight, and the beard is going to dominate.
All right, next we've got Denver traveling to New Orleans to take on the Pelicans, where the Pelicans are favored by 3.5 points. I'm taking New Orleans. Jamal Murray, Paul Millsap, Mason Plumlee, all still out for Denver, and Gary Harris and Michael Porter are listed as questionable as well. While the Pelicans are about as close to full strength as they've ever been in the franchise's history. New Orleans is also 2-0 against the Nuggets this season by a combined 27 points. New Orleans.
You can't win them all. I'm going to say that that's a good reason to bet tonight on Denver.
All right. Next, we've got the Clippers traveling to Miami to take on the Heat, where Los Angeles is favored by 2.5 points. I'm taking the Clippers. Jimmy Butler, Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic, all questionable for Miami. The Clippers are expected to be without Pat Beverly and Paul George again, but I got to go with Kawhi and the Clips here, given Miami's injury status. Clippers.
Injury schminjury. I believe that Miami will win.
All right, next we've got Phoenix traveling to San Antonio to take on the Spurs, where the Spurs are favored by 4.5 points. I'm taking San Antonio. Still no Aaron Baines for the Suns. And the Spurs have won 3 in a row, including a road win on Monday against these Phoenix Suns. San Antonio.
Suns.
All right, the finale. We've got Indiana traveling to Golden State to take on the Warriors, where the Pacers are favored by 6.5 points. I'm taking Indiana. Malcolm Brogdon is out with a concussion, but I'm still taking the Pacers. They've won 6 of 7, and the Warriors have lost 12 of the last 13. Indiana in the finale.
Well, 12 of the last 13 is going to be their lucky number. Bet on it.
All right. It's been another episode of the Tip-Off, where one of us is always right. Thanks for tuning in.